Hello and welcome to the stream of Chaos. My name is Dave and I'll be your game master for this session of Pendragon. Now, before we begin today's session, I need to announce that this Pendragon scenario is going to be our last regularly broadcast game. So, beginning in September, after these next 3 episodes are released, we will no longer be streaming on Twitch or uploading weekly games to YouTube. Now, this is not the end of Chaosium actual plays. There will be more content. It's just going to be in a different shape. So this is more one-offs and varied pieces. For example, we are all going to be playing live at PAX Oz in October in a game run by Call of Cthulhu line editor Mike Mason. I also know that there are some great interviews and other videos coming down the pipeline. So there's a lot of people we'd like to sort of thank that have been part of this stream over the years. But we're going to save all that for the finale of this scenario in a few weeks. For now, I'm just going to say thank you to everyone who's tuned in and to everyone that watches these videos in the years to come. And thank you to this wonderful cast who've joined me for so many amazing stories. Now let's return to this one. So this is session, 4 of the sword tournament. We started it previously and then came back. I think 3, 4. What do my notes say? I said 4 for the last one. I think it might be 5. Anyway, of the sword tournament, and our knights have all gathered in Londinium to crown a new king. They have witnessed the sword being drawn. They have promptly lost the sword that was drawn, and they are now scrambling to find it again. A incredible storm, freak weather event has settled on the city. And our knights are traipsing through corridors dug through the snow to try and hunt down this artifact, and also to heal themselves, because 2 of us were very badly wounded and 1 of us is dead and replaced by a brand spanking new knight. Well, no, not a new knight, a very experienced knight. Now we'll go around the table and each reintroduce ourselves and our characters, and let's begin with Art.
If my thing will unmute itself. Hi, I'm Art. Off the back of obviously what Dave said, thanks all for hanging out with us. If you would like to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can do so still on Twitch. I have my own little personal channel where I play cozy games, mystery games, fun times at twitch.tv/unfilteredart. But today, here, right now with you, and I guess you in the future, welcome. I am playing Sir Boris Morrison, not the finest swordsman in the land, but the most enthusiastic. Boris is a big man with a big heart, and a lot of hit points. And really likes to swing his sword around enthusiastically and occasionally hit things, but mostly he's there to be hit, to take hits for his companions. And I think that's,
that hits it.
That's Boris.
Fantastic.
That's big man.
That's Boris. Let's see. That's Jackson.
Hey, that's me. I'm Jackson. I'm going to wake up my old blue sky at jacksonheenan.com, which is also a website, which is also where you can find me, which is where I'll be talking about stuff. Who knows? But for now, I am playing Sir Hervis, son of Pharamond, of the golden hair, gleaming white teeth, and dulcet tones, who is here to make a good impression in the PR sphere after minor disaster in losing the sword. But we have a plan. We have a plan that involves doing some real community outreach and getting our names out there and making sure that our brand is really, really one that the people will connect with. That's the plan.
Just rock solid. Jackson, what was that social handle again? Because I'll update it on the thingy now.
Oh, heck. Still got my old one. I'm a blue sky at, you just search my name, Jackson Heenan, H-E-E-N-A-N. But also it's just jacksonheenan.com, which is my website as well. And that's where you can find what I'm doing and what I do.
Perfect. Updated. All right, let's go across next to Jimbo.
Hello, it's me, Jimbo, also Robo Pelican on socials, and it's also a website when I can be bothered finishing off the half-finished HTML document that is saved in a notepad. I'm not paying
That's the natural state.
for a subscription. I'll make it myself, and it will look terrible.
That's the natural state of websites, is half developed.
Exactly.
As someone who worked in Webdev for a while, correct.
I'm playing some Mobe the Acknowledged. I have been pierced upon the side, but feel very unchristlike. I'm really hoping that now, if we end up going out into the woods, I think I would like another encounter with the strange barefoot woman I found. Perhaps she will give me insights into the true nature of faith, or at least I'll get to kill some pigs, one or the other.
50-50. All right, we'll go across finally to Alex.
Hello, I am Alex. I am playing Dame Gwenhild of Londinium, personal bodyguard to some of the bigwigs about town. Previously. And now I am on loan permanently, it seems, to this gang. I'm okay with that. You know, I'd been losing the gambling that I'd been doing lately and hadn't gotten much of a chance to swing my big axe around, and now I definitely do. So I'm all in on that one. Party night, ready for a new adventure. Right here, right now.
Hell yeah.
Where you can find me is very simple, VLXCAT. The same handle literally everywhere. It is also a website that mirrors to my old website that currently doesn't have content on it but does have a contact form. So that's something. But mostly I'm on Blue Sky and Instagram.
Fantastic. All right. So returning to our session, where we left off last week, it has been 3 weeks since the sword was stolen, and you have spent some time recovering. Now, so Hervis and Samop, have you updated your health accordingly? You factored in, I think it's 3 times whatever your healing rate would be, so like 9 health above where you were, I think.
Yes, that.
I have
I
done
got down
so,
to
yes.
7, and I've gained 12, so I think I must have taken 4 weeks.
Maybe we did.
Or it was
4.
3 plus a
It would
plus
do
a,
3
an
weeks
extra
healing
roll.
rate plus the burst from the initial.
If you got a
heal.
if you got a
That's what it
physical
was.
first aid, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So then for this week, Dame Gwenhild went to sort of gather some supplies, and that was when you learnt that you'd been kind of loaned across, and you saw that this was, well, at least Merlin meeting with the sheriff that started this all off. And then working together, you've put together a bit of a plan for how you want to persuade Arthur to bring some supplies to the common people who are certainly suffering the greatest as a result of this sudden storm. Now, the plan, where we left it, was Hervis was going to attempt an intrigue roll to try and weigh the scales in your favor. And so Boris, you're going to take from there with an 4-8 check to speak with, ideally, Lord Robert, to try and actually, enunciate this plan and get it moving. And then we're going to check back in on Mobe, who's been posted up in some of the churches who are sort of researching into maybe local ruins or anything of the sort where perhaps these Picts have fled and taken the sword.
Presumably, there's got to be an Annals of Old Pictoria or something, because they wouldn't have a great understanding of what is here in the modern day. But I figure that it's either caves or ruins if you want to get out of the snow. It's got to be one or the other.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe a mine. I'm talking myself out of it.
We'll go back to you in a moment, but first we'll start with Sir Hervis. If you could give us an intrigue roll, and I suppose let us know if you'd like to apply any passion.
I mean, this is a cunning plan, Dave, that I could have, gone off and done on my own, or, we could have gone off and done on our own to put in action. But I am just so gosh darn passionate about showing homage to my lord that I've decided to take this to Robert first.
Yeah.
That's my pitch.
I think that absolutely plays. It's particularly because you want to he is going to ultimately get the credit for this plan. He will recognize you in turn, and you maybe get yourself back in his good graces, but this does not carry up beyond him. Arthur may never know that this was, the 4 of you that put this plan together. All right, so go ahead and make your homage lord roll.
I'm so conscious that like we've got 3 sessions left in our streams entirely, and so this is the part where if we start fucking up now,
It
like,
all goes off the rails.
maybe it all falls
yeah.
apart and we never get a chance to fix it.
I have
maybe you go out with a
200,000
bang and
chaos
everybody
points
loves
I need
it.
to spend in chat.
Also, it is
Oh,
amazing how often
chaos
like
points.
a 15 use them to turn every word you send bright green. Oh, wait, or did we turn them off
many-
a while ago? I can't remember how.
How many do you have, Jim?
200,000.
Oh, I got 42,000. Dang.
Hang on, how many of I want to know now because I've 67, almost 68,000. I do remember before I joined that I used some channel points to make, I think it was Rachel hit Jim with a car.
Yep.
Yes.
Classic.
And
And
still
someone
the most iconic one from that was a friend of ours was resurrecting the bear.
resurrected a bear.
Yeah.
You guys fought and
Yeah.
killed a bear and they just went like, and it's back. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So funny. That's pulp, you know?
And then there was a lot of channel points used to get that bathtub to the center of the earth. And if you haven't no idea what talking about, go and watch Cold Fire Within. It's a great little
It was a good
story.
time.
YouTube.
So, I have
Nice for them.
succeeded my homage lord, which I believe is a +5 to my intrigue check.
That it is. Add it and fire.
Thank goodness. Still on
Loads.
brand for now.
Okay. This is probably the first time that you've spoken with Lord Robert since he expressed his disappointment in you losing the sword that you
Yeah,
were
I honestly
explicitly
fair.
told really not. Please, if you're gonna do anything, don't lose that. So
So I wonder if the intrigue role is me like getting an audience with him in the first place.
Yeah.
Like I imagine like just like sending a letter to say, hey, can we chat? That might not be received very well. So I don't know. Maybe I just happen to find out which some chapel he goes to, and it's just like I happen to be there.
Oh, yeah, a
and I
chance
happen to catch
encounter.
him when he's. Yeah, happening to like be in a bit of a reflective kind of godly mood, and that's why it goes so well.
I think
Was
with,
that the-
and I think with it, well, so Boris is with you because this will be you're lining up Boris for the chat. But I think what you've done here, yes, all of that. In addition, you've caught him at a time when he's just come from butting heads with one of the other nobles. People are getting kind of shitty, particularly at him because it was his knights that lost the sword, so Lord Robert's lost face.
Yep.
So he's kind of annoyed at these other nobles and kind of doesn't have. He can't actually arc up at them because he is in the wrong ultimately, and definitely lesser amongst a lot of these great men and women. And secondly, when you meet with him, it's in the streets between locations where it is very cold, and you can just imagine anyone out here greatly suffering. You find him here, and so Hervis, before you launch into your scheme, is there anything you just say to your lord personally for how you feel about how things have gone down? Or do you just kind of tee up Sir Boris and then hide around the corner?
Yeah, no, I'd probably say we haven't really talked about Tiramore and how that kind of sucked. Yeah, so I'd probably just spin it as we did our best and we failed, and we shall wear that for the rest of our knightly careers, and that's a mark that we'll carry, but it's a mark that I'm glad carry, for one of us can carry nothing no more. You know what I'm trying to say. This is
Yeah.
why I'm not making the orate roll.
Is you in sort of very quickly recognizing and acknowledging the failure and the ramifications of it, you kind of meet Lord Robert on his level, and I think also he's probably sick to death of hearing people complaining about the sword. Yes, it's important, and he knows logically it is the greater loss, but I think personally he mourns for Tiramore and can't really bring it up because everyone, anytime it gets vaguely mentioned, they go like, yeah, but like, let's lock in on the sword, guy. Let's go find that. All right, it sucks your knight's dead, but whatever. So you kind of
He's
meet him
probably in
there on a
misery.
personal level. Yeah. Yep. genuinely probably would be affected. He talks to you a little bit about just the functional matters of these things, about where the body will be taken to, if it's returned to Summerland, or if it's taken back to the castle on the rock, Sarum, or if it's buried here once the ground is soft enough to break. It's clearly it's taken a lot of his thought. He never explicitly forgives you. He never sort of pushes away the current state of things, but I think he just talks to you as an equal throughout the meeting. And when Sir Boris joins, it's been certainly a far more pleasant exchange than perhaps you dreaded it might be.
Thank goodness.
So Boris, what is your approach here? It's as good a situation as can be imagined.
I mean, I think I just sort of... Hang on. I want to check something real quick. Where's my, What's being sneaky?
Hunting, if it's actually lurking. Otherwise, you could just do straight dex roll, or kind of depends what you're going for here.
If it's words, crafty words, intrigue, right?
Yeah.
No. Sorry, I was just... Boris is very large, but I kind of love the idea of a very large person who can occasionally just move in a way that is very quiet and just sort of suddenly is there. But
I would say that is directly counter to your distinctive features as well. So unless you want to make a roll here, that is not the case.
No. Yeah, I think I just walk over, join the conversation without necessarily saying something, and let Sir Hervis kind of sort of tee up the we had a matter we wish to speak to you on type thing. And kind of wait for Lord Robert to sort of give his blessing to continue.
Yeah. He turns to face you, sort of stamping his feet in the cold, and takes the time still to hear your ideas.
My lord, this rather unfortunate state of affairs, I fear, has rattled both the lords, but also the people of Londinium, and perhaps shaken their faith in our new monarch. And I believe that we have a solid idea about how to resolve that issue. But we wanted to bring this to you first because you are our lord, and we would not want to do anything without your explicit blessing, even if that blessing is given without knowledge of anyone further. Not that makes it sound like we're doing something illegal. We are not. To be clear.
I'll hear your idea. Tell me.
The people outside the walls, my lord, are starving. And without food, they will die. We believe that it is a worthwhile endeavor to take this to soon to be King Arthur, and ask for his help in feeding the populace. From what I have observed of the lad, for that is what he is currently, he has a kind heart, and one that, from all the machinations of the nobles around him who wish him to quash it, some reasonable warnings, but some perhaps more selfish than others, I believe that Arthur's kindness, when tempered with responsibility, will be what makes him a great king for our people. I also know that it is unlikely to be taken kindly by the other lords, for they will want to be fed. They will not want to give up their food for peasants. That is not the way of things. That is not how we do things now. There is an opportunity, I think, to let the lords use their capital to block Arthur from helping the peasantry, and then use the retrieval of the sword as a way to solidify Arthur's right to rule, but also to solidify that his way of moving through the world, his kindness, his dedication, is a path that more could follow, should they so wish it. What we ideally want, obviously, is your approval to proceed with this. But also, we are not lords. We're not nobles. We have no sway in that area. We are hoping that perhaps by bringing this to you, you may be able to use this plan to support whichever side means that your house, our house, and by extension, I suppose Duke Ulfius's house, are in the best allegiance with the new king.
It's a plan of not insignificant cunning, Sir Boris, and
I am not insignificantly cunning when I try. My intrigue is 8. I'm
there
not
is
stupid.
some wisdom to it, and it's true, the people are suffering. I've seen it, and if we are to feed them, the bread must be taken from another. You're right, the other nobles won't be eager for this because it is their minds that lead peasants and protect them, and many will see this as a short-term solution that will suffer in the long. If any noble suffers throughout this period, then in the coming wars, things will be felt much more greatly. There is a reserve. There were stores brought in, I know, for Candlemas. When Arthur's crowning was to be held, there was intended to be a great feast, and now those stores languish. They have been preserved as best they can, always intended for being consumed in a week's time, but if that sword cannot be returned, then, well, there'll be no cause for feasting. I could speak with the king, well, our future king, and see if perhaps these stores could be tapped, but we must be delicate here so as not to present as abandoning faith that a feast will be warranted. No, this must be quite carefully approached. I know also that mage Merlin has his ear, and he is not one to be twisted. He is in favor of this feast. He has defended it greatly, certain that it will be held within the week on Candlemas, and that all the stores shall be needed, or it will be a great ceremony still. But I admit, I do not see how it can be held if the sword is not retrieved soon. If we go about this, we need to speak with Arthur without that brown-robed person's presence.
I think, perhaps, my lord, there is a way in which a week is not very long. There are people who may become ill within a week, but not necessarily as many people are at risk of dying.
To Boris's mind, this would be the 4th week of cold.
Okay.
It's like, and the people that are close, that'll finish them off. A week's gonna be pretty deadly.
Okay, cool,
for
cool.
quite
In
a lot
that
of
case.
people. Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think it's a show of faith to. I think that the Lord teaches us to be generous and to share our blessings with others, and it's a show of faith to say that, well, the food is here, the food should be shared, and should we sustain the people, should we sustain the peasants, then perhaps that would somehow make us good in the eyes of the Lord and help bring the sword back to us. It's a sacrifice, if you will.
Seems it
Or
would not be
better
right to
still-
gorge ourselves when so many have died.
It is also somewhat what greater celebration exists on Earth than for people who love you because you have saved them to celebrate your ascension to the throne.
Just so. If the sword cannot be found, then we need some other way to show Arthur's right to rule, and
if
that
the
may
sword is
be
found,
such an act.
if the sword is found, then then perhaps there will not be food enough to feast in the way that Merlin so wishes, but there will be people to celebrate. There will be voices to celebrate. There will be souls that are bound to Arthur and his rule because he chose to save them. And that is a celebration beyond mere feasting. And
Tell
take
me.
it from me, I love a good feast, but I would
Oh,
rather
yeah.
share it with people than none.
Tell me, do you think the sword may be found?
Yes.
I know, Sir Boris, you have worked with the Dame Gwenhild. Truly, do you believe it? A week, in this weather, have you lead?
We have some. Dame Gwenhild was able. Hang on, double checking. It was Gwenhild who discovered the weird people, wasn't it? The people who were hanging out outside the church? Yeah. Dame Gwenhild.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I went around to some taverns, chatted to some folk.
Dame Gwenhild has given us a lead. There were some unusually positioned and dressed individuals outside the church a few days prior to the sword being stolen. Now, it is possible that the reconnaissance, if that was what was done, might have been done a few days early because that was less suspicious, but we believe it was more likely to have been done a few days early because it required that amount of time to travel back, report, and travel in again. That gives us at least some distance from Londinium within which to search, and given the speed at which this snowfall, this blizzard came down, it is unlikely they have gone further. Within that sphere, there are only so many places one can, if we assume all are Picts, hide a band of people from barbarians, for want of a better term, outside, there are only so many places they can go to hide, to be safe from not only the populace, but also the weather. And we know that the Picts are generally based in the north. It is possible that they are in another direction, but we believe it is likely that they are at least more. There is a higher likelihood of them being north or northward than anywhere else. It gives us a place to start. Whether that is enough time or not.
At this point, I'm gonna ask you to make your orate roll. And what you're doing here is inspiring Lord Robert to have faith in your success. If they're going to draw on the stores of the feast to come, the angle that he's most likely to play is, if we are so sure that the sword will be returned, then let us start the feast now. Let us extend it into a great feast that will last all week to Candlemas, that the people who need it most can begin to benefit, and when the sword is returned and the crown is placed, then, light the beacons and we'll have the whole damn thing. It'll be a little less for us, but it'll be far greater in the long run. But for this, he needs absolute confidence that the sword will be returned. Yes, you can add 5 to this. You can add 5 to this, Sir Boris, from Sir Hervis's success and the sound planning of your peers. If you'd like to invoke a passion, you can attempt to do so for another potential +5.
Yes, I would, but I have a bit of a weird one here. I would like to invoke honor, but not on behalf of myself. I want to evoke honor because as a chivalrous knight, it is part of the code that you share glory with your companions. And in this case, I want to argue that I'm the only one that didn't take a hit of honor. And so I am dedicated at this point to bringing my fellow knights back, bring their honor back, even if it is a detriment to my own.
I think that's it. I think it's you staking your own honor on this as well and throwing your name in amongst your sullied peers. Yes, I think honor absolutely plays.
Oh, what?
Jackson didn't like sullied peers.
Sullied.
Very specifically, the chivalry is we share glory. We are willing to. The chivalrous knight shares glory, and the chivalrous knight takes equal responsibility. They are here for all. Watch me fuck this one up real good. Oh, thank God! All right.
Okay, there's a success.
Cool.
So you'll have a net plus
+10.
10 to this roll.
Okay. Well, I can't fail.
We love to hear it.
My R8 is 13. So, on a 17 or above, I also get a critical success.
Hell yeah.
Because that's how it works, yeah? You like...
Yep. It'll functionally add,
Alright.
add 3 to the dice.
Just see how good this goes.
I remember hearing that when I started playing Pendragon and thinking like, wow, you can get locked in successes pretty easily. The amount of disasters that
We've had so many failures. We've had more... We have a higher player kill ratio than Call of Cthulhu, I think.
Unfortunately, no criticals, but it is comfortably a success.
Comfortably a success, yep, that's right. Yeah, you promise that it will be done. Dame Gwenhild has a lead, and you are 4 determined knights. So Robert doesn't need to hear any more of the details. His trust in you, never truly broken, but now restored, he urges you to sally forth with all the haste you can muster and ensure that that sword is returned by Candlemas. He will do all that he can to spread goodwill amongst the people and ensure that it is Arthur's name that is attached to the message. And when the sword is returned, and it is when, you will be rewarded, as will he, as will the people, and Arthur, as he is crowned. He's confident in that. He has no doubt, and he sets away to begin to spread the news. You may not necessarily see the results because you now have a very urgent task ahead of you and time shrinking to fulfill it. If they are within a day and a half travel or so, then by the time you set forth and by the time you return, 3 days may be lost, and they were doing this in fair weather. You may not have much chance to find this, and if you miss your target on the first attempt, you may not get another. We'll go now to Sir Mobe doing research.
Ooh,
it is Call of
I wanted
Cthulhu.
to ask
He heads to
quickly.
the library.
Are they horsed?
The Picts are no.
And
Well,
horsed.
you don't know. There's no evidence of them having been so.
I figure it's like the equivalent of I do the Arthurian era equivalent of going like, would have they been able to get parking? You know, I figure that there's logistical difficulties about them having
Also,
Speedboards.
several people,
they would need
like
to
a
be
group of people
stabled.
coming in on horses is notable. A bunch
Especially
of
if
people
they're,
walking
like-
in on foot.
Londinium's
Less-
gigantic,
Giant
and there was a
sword.
giant tournament that was happening.
Sure.
They could have
Yeah, but
gotten
if
away
it-
with it, but yes, they. Also, just horses are expensive, and if they traveled them all the way down here, and if this was truly a great, like, you know, army of Picts, or even just a large unit, horsing all of them wouldn't be feasible. Most likely, the way the whole group came down was in, like you did, arriving here in a caravan, as in like a caravan of wagons and horses and many, many people on foot. So yeah, there's a good chance they weren't. And if they're hiding somewhere, then horses are tougher to think. Yeah, it's a reasonable chance they weren't horsed. So you may be faster on horseback.
There's a chance, at least. Anyway, literacy. I hung out with some monks. Let's see how this whole reading thing goes.
Do
And
you
then my
have-
idea is that, like, you know, if there is any kind of showing the holes in my history knowledge here, but the church was a real inheritor of a lot of the information that came from the Roman collapse, and I'm figuring if there's ruins around here, they're probably going to be Roman ruins. Nominally, might be some older stuff, but yeah, I'm trying to go through sort of like official documentation like that.
Yep.
Lots of Latin.
Do you have a passion you want to apply at the top of this, or are you just going to go for straight literacy?
I may as well fire loyalty church, I figure.
Well, hang on, before you do that, what's the argument for the loyalty to the church here? This is you looking to fulfill your own
Using their
honor.
stuff.
Yeah, it's not, you're not benefiting them. I would say your own honor probably applies before
I'm happy
that.
I'm happy to do my own honor. They're about the same values, so that's all fine. But my argument for it was going to be is I'm still very much seeing Moab as being in the midst of a bit of a not sure where he lands as the church and religion at the minute. It's kind of his arc, and I was thinking this is all problems should be able to be solved with loyalty to the church, in terms of like, this is the problem has fallen apart. The knights have failed, the lords have failed in this, but there is a center to it all that can resolve the problem. That is, if we trust in the knowledge and the sort of like strictures, and not that I don't want to just ham shoe it in if it's not appropriate, but that's the link I see. He's like, no, this is a path that if we lean in, if we trust in the literacy, if we trust in the wisdom, we can find this.
I'm convinced, Jim. You should have it.
So before we go, I am also sufficiently convinced. All I'll say is this is then you are doing this for the church's benefit, less so than yourselves and your lord. That is what you are looking for here, because it was stolen from the church too. That is a mark against them, and it is in theory divine providence that Arthur has drawn the sword, and that is God's will. So this is God's will that is doing through it. So you are doing all of this to right the wrongs of faith, less so than restore your own personal honor or raise Robert to some seat of power.
I think that's true. I think that Moab never had gigantic honor compared to the rest, and I think that he's actually the last hit that he took. I think he is seeing this more as like his head's in the clouds. This is part of a larger thing. His honor is less important as but a vessel of the sort of
you are an arm of the church.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, or if I fail this, maybe I'm less so.
Yes, I think that's what we'll lean into here. All right, go ahead and roll the loyalty church.
Fail, which
Okay.
I'm quite happy with. I like the idea of this being perfect.
You're not going to be happy for long.
No,
Well,
so it's going to
because
be
throughout the whole thing, he was having a great time. He saw the beam of light in the church, and then everything went wrong. You know.
go ahead and do the literacy roll first, and then we will resolve the passion.
Literacy passes, which I think is the passion bad.
No, it just means it's not quite as bad. We'll resolve that now. So go ahead and roll your loyalty again, and if it succeeds this time, you care. If it goes over, you're like, whatever, it wasn't that big a deal.
Fail.
Yeah,
Okay.
it wouldn't be good.
That is alright. You go. That sucks.
Also, I think
But
the
you're not
pass
going to go
fail pass fail on a passion roll is actually more important when you succeed the passion and then fail the roll. Because I think if you fail the passion, it kind of doesn't matter whether you succeed or fail. The subsequent roll, you failed the passion. Whereas if you succeed a passion and then fail the roll really badly, you're like, I was impassioned and I didn't succeed. Oh no! Yeah. That's from my scanning of lit. I was like, oh yeah.
That is my interpretation as well. So, I think you find many failings in the church as you're doing this, as many as you have found in the courts of nobles and in, knightly ranks. These documents, have they even heard of an ordering system? They're just in scrolls. What the fuck? Put them on a shelf, you nerds. But you are able to find some older maps of the area, and amongst them you find a large list of deeds, or the equivalent of the period, which divide out plots of land and assign them to people. And looking over these, you see that much of the land to the north, between here and St. Albans, which is a cathedral, and Hertford, which is the next largest, I think it's a town, or it might be a castle. I don't know, it's on the map. has been divided up and will be farmed. So peasants will be working there. It will be regularly tilled. If people were to be hiding, this would not be appropriate. Perhaps now, once the winter has set in, they could be, seeking, safety in these areas. And if, some people have been fully pushed out of the barns, then maybe those will be open. But these Picts were here and lurking before the winter set in. They would have been hiding before that, and they'd need somewhere large enough to cover a not insignificant number. There are woods to the north. It's a small, unnamed grove, technically under the ownership of Londinium, so hunting there would be poaching, but it's unlikely that anyone would just go in for no reason, and were a band of people to seek a hiding place, it may be appropriate. Now, what it would not be great for is surviving a winter. There might be caves and things in there, but it's still way worse than, honestly, ruins or something would have been a better angle, but they would have had to then leave the woods probably to go to those, and you might be able to at least pick up the trail there.
That's interesting. I also, just to throw in one more thing, I like the idea that in the disarray of the church, what I'm also finding, because I know that the early Christian myths did a lot of this, they've pulled in a bunch of just obviously pagan stuff. And I keep sort of being like, I know, well, no. That shouldn't be here.
What is this?
No, this isn't an official scroll. This should be in the heathen myth section.
I think, touching on that briefly, Merlin's presence is very strange in all of this. Kind of obviously, but as you're sitting here, you have this realization of here is this blatantly pagan worshipper, a man who claims, or the stories claim, to do all manner of strange sort of perversions of the natural order of God's will, and yet he has been recognized by the church. You even saw him meeting with the bishop here just the other day in yet more preparations for Arthur's coming ceremony. This person should not be so close to the church. Do you think Sir Mobe's able to interpret this as God's hand in things, or is this this pagan stuff it's muddying up our perfectly good religion?
I guess that, I think I'll lean back on the outcome of the roll that just happened, and I think that he would have been inclined to say, if the Archbishop has been meeting with Merlin, then the Archbishop clearly knows more than I do, and this is all fine and kosher, and it's just complicated. I think instead he probably goes, well, Merlin may have, he's obviously important. He has some kind of connection to the will of God and spirits. But if the Archbishop is meeting with him, well, we know the Archbishop isn't perfect. These bloody scrolls speak to that. I guess it's complicated, and I think that that's the first sort of chink in the armor of the papacy, being like, well,
well, yeah, I guess it's yeah, and I think throughout these records as well, you witness compromise. It cannot be
a long spool of thread wrapped around the corner of this bench that continues to pull the further he gets from the desk.
Yeah. yes, absolutely. Yeah, you perhaps have a heading. With the knowledge in hand, you retreat from the chambers and meet with the others. All of you, so Hervis and Simone in particular, have been stationed in a, I guess it's supposed to be one of the taverns, the rooms upstairs for you to recover. And the Lady Guinevere has attended to you each night and during many of the days, watching you as you've recovered. And only now begun to let you wander from her sight, so that you can do your own tasks, as you are, healthy enough to move, but she still clearly has some concerns for your well-being. As you come in this evening, now, and head up to your rooms, and we'll find Sir Boris and Dame Gwenhild returned as well. Downstairs, you see, again, as has become regular, Lady Guinevere speaking with the young Arthur, and it's clear that he's in some way seeking counsel from a lady of court, someone who's very practiced in balancing the requirements of different nobles and their desires and finding the compromise, so to speak. And perhaps your message has already gotten through to him. It is a private conversation, and one that interruption would probably do you no favors. So unless you wish otherwise, they're left to their discussions, and the four of you can convene and make your plans. It is now 6 days until Candlemas, starting from tomorrow.
Heck,
We got to get going fast then. So
do we have a route?
a rough bearing to the woods, but beyond that,
I think there is a solid. The Picts were not expecting to be trapped in this weather. This is not natural winter. This is unusual for the time of year. If some mob, as you say, if they made their way into the woods, intending to encamp there because that was the place they would be most hidden, there is a good chance that they perhaps are still there. Moving elsewhere in this weather would be treacherous at least. But if they have, again, as you have noted, there may in fact be a trail we can follow. I propose, we do not know whether they are on horseback or foot, though perhaps we can hope they are on foot. I suggest we make our preparations this evening, get rest, and set off first light.
I have one last suggestion to make.
Please.
Not only do we, I think that we can safely make an assumption that they're on foot based on the fact that times are lean. Our food is scarce to come by, and if they had horses with them, they likely no longer do. They will probably be hunting as well. They'll need everything they can. The area around Londinium had been depleted already in anticipation of the feast and the arrival of many people. Animals will have been driven away. At any rate, there is a chance that they will have sentries out to spot us as we search through the woods, and if we can somehow give off the impression that we're not hunting them, that we are in fact a target, they might come to us, or some collection of them, attempting to rob a poor traveler and see if they can steal whatever goods they have. We might consider collecting a caravan and sequestering ourselves within it, or something of the sort. It might slow us down, but I know myself, I am no tracker, much to my father's chagrin. Dame Gwenhild, I think you have some skill in hunting. Perhaps you could follow from a distance or remain hidden alongside, or perhaps act as the sole guard to a lone caravan. It's a thought.
Yeah, we can make ourselves bait.
Indeed.
Dame
thought.
Gwenhild, you've hunted in these woods before, actually. You've led or been a member of parties going through. You probably were never leading the hunts. Are there people trained specifically with that? With dogs and falcons and a warm summer day, you would be comfortable going about this. Under time pressure and in winter, it will be certainly like much grimmer. And in what they normally do is they send out parties ahead of the hunt to kind of like clear out a lot of the brambles and stuff. This hasn't been done yet because winter's only just broken, so it will be in the worst condition imaginable. This is going to be pretty hard going. It's going to definitely be relying on hunting and things.
Drawing people onto us might be the far more effective solution. Additionally, if we are convinced that it's going to be pretty bleak out there, I mean, that's why they're sheltering. Bringing a damn caravan could just be useful for the collection of us as a place to rest.
Also, there's no way you're getting a caravan into those woods, so it would be you'd need to draw them out. Even horses are really going to struggle in these circumstances. It's going to be probably on foot. Last thing to consider is those that
they be watching, but yeah.
Oh, it would have to be nearby, and then you could try and jam it in and hope that makes enough noise. But these words are large enough that you'd be relying on the right angle. But if you can find possibly their ingress point and then do it there, last thing to consider would be getting dogs. If you're comfortable with hunting and you think that you may have dealt with them before, bringing dogs would be able to. They can track much better than you can. You don't need to rely on your own skills. I don't think anyone has falconry as a skill, do you? That would have been cool. Damn.
We don't. We also. I
have 5 in it.
Do you have 5?
I have not used half of my skills, so I can put something in it.
If anyone thinks that maybe falconry would apply, you could roll that as well.
Well, I've got hunting, so it does make sense.
Yeah.
I do like.
Sorry to keep throwing stuff out here. We also now that we have changed the state of play a bit and we have some more information, there is still, I believe, the Pict that we have captured, unless I am misremembering a critical scene in which he met it. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
I assumed we would have already had a chance to question him.
Well, language is there's a language barrier. Now that we know that they're in the woods, we could, I don't know if we could get some kind of if you tell us where they are, we'll give you the chance to duel us and die honorably or win your freedom. That's probably a bit above their sort of level, but I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know what we get out of it. It's just a final bargaining chip.
The context from him, he is incapable of speaking. You do not speak the same languages. And any sort of basic questioning has led nowhere. He's just clammed up and refused to say anything. And to his mind, you get the impression that they have succeeded in what they are doing. And as he has kind of seen elements of the disarray, there's been a smug aura for a time. That said, that changed quite a bit once the winter, the snow set in. And by the first night when it was really coming down, you could see he was concerned, and he has now settled into sort of mute sullenness and eaten little, only enough to survive. He's not, trying to off himself. He's just kind of grumpy about the whole thing.
He's sad and he thinks his friends are having a bad time.
Yeah, that's right. You could try and get some communication. Someone here should speak the Pictish language. Going through the church would be the most obvious, or some of the nobles that are more northern may have some of it.
I think it's more important to get out there and just stop, because we're under time pressure. I think
the only thing that he can really do that's useful is actually tell us where the camp is, and it's quite likely that he doesn't even have an
Perhaps
exact location.
he might.
Their plans must have changed after they realized they were caught in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
I think there is an opportunity for us to go and ask this man a simple question and see if he is willing to cooperate. If he doesn't, we proceed with the plan as normal. Mm-hmm. If he does, okay, we get some confirmation. Your strategic thought, Sir Mobe, has always been something that I'm deeply impressed by. In this moment, I do not think that tricks and intrigue will get us as far as direct action. We have 6 days. A caravan is slow. If we had the time, an exemplary, truly amazing idea, I just worry we do not have the time, and perhaps directness will get us further. Dogs are loud. We are loud. If they are without horse, whether they hear us or not is not necessarily. They're not necessarily going to choose to flee. So us being loud is really only a disservice to ourselves. And I trust in my sword, and I trust in the prowess of both yourself, Sir Mobe, and Sir Hervis, and I certainly trust that axe, Dame Hwenhild. So I think that while it is of greater risk for us to go loudly, we are not without skill.
Then speed, I agree. Perhaps do we want to get a dog, or?
So, if we can, potentially.
I'm going to move some shit that I haven't used into falconry, so I'm going to give myself 10 falconry. It makes sense. 10 hunting, 10 falconry.
Then bird?
Then get a falcon?
You can add
point
that
saved,
skill. You
yeah.
can absolutely have a falcon.
Bob.
So, you can all. It is the night. The default plan is you set off early tomorrow morning with the supplies you have prepared. You are not oversupplying. You get your horses and you go away. Then Grenhild can begin with the falcon because that will be your personal thing, but you won't have dogs. Hunting without dogs is more difficult. It's kind of the default way to do it is set them to tracking. They are just way better at it than humans are. So it will be harder to make hunting rolls. If you want to procure them, you can commit half the day to getting the dogs. And during that, you could we can make a roll for trying to question the Pict or otherwise up supplies, or you can just push off and try and get there sooner rather than later. Are you going for speed, or do you want to muck about and get some extra supplies?
I think speed, but if we have to make a delay to get the dog anyway, the one suggestion I was going to have is every person that we have out there with us is going to be a drain. We could tell our squires, we've got 6 days, tell our squires to come in 3 days to a nearby area that is nice and easy, and be there and drop food
On
there
the way
and
back,
meet us. Organize a sort of supply run so we can
That's a good
stay
idea.
and we don't need to.
Yeah.
Oh, do the was it the South Pole where they were like, we'll come back and we'll drop food, and then they all died.
Yeah.
Supply line, but
You
without
could
the
even
death.
you could even have them bring the dogs out. You could just go now and
That's
say,
a great idea.
meet us as
that's
soon
what-
as you
let's do
have get dog supplies, and if you can speak with that Pict, come and meet us in. You could honestly, they could do all that in one day. Give them a day to prepare,
Heck
and then
yeah.
they ride out tomorrow and meet you at a set point. If you say, St. Albans is beyond, that'd probably be a bit too far. You found the maps and everything, so Mobe. You find a farmstead midway between near the woods, kind of to the edge of them, and you can tell them to meet you there tomorrow. They should arrive in the afternoon if they're going at a modest pace.
Because that gives us a chance, there is a
Get the
solid
falcon
chance.
out there and
Unless
go.
the Picts are still there, then we are going to have to try and pick up a trail. We're going to have to take time to do that anyway. I don't think spending a day and a half working out where they've gone, doing some reconnaissance, and then coming back and getting supplies, and then
Yeah.
actually acting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea if the squires follow us out the next day with dogs to commence the
just-
actual hunt, and we spend that day closer to the woods, send the falcon up, see if there's response from that, if there's an area that the falcon will mark for us.
I'd
Circle
like
around and pick up any trails on the ground that we can.
Sir Hervis, I think this is the most appropriate roll. Can you make a recognize roll with +5 and some Mobe? Can you make it a recognize roll just straight?
Okay.
Interesting. I have base recognize, which is unfortunate. I recognize everything.
You recognize the whole damn thing.
I got close. I did want to make a joke. It's I double check it against the random farm that I stumbled across next to woods last time.
So what recognize is just typically for being like, oh, I know who that person is and kind of what they're about. That is the king of wherever, and they rule the place of this and that.
I should really have that skill. That's a good skill to have.
I don't, because I am not very knowledgeable, but delightfully, I think I must have succeeded a roll, because it was definitely base, but my recognize is now 6.
Yeah.
And I don't know when that happened.
Go on, point.
I'm slightly better at knowing people.
You do get modifiers for famous people and things, and it's expected that you know people. And what this is applying to, Sir Hervis, is Merlin, who you have some through your family's history knowledge of. There was a story told one of your fathers when he met with Merlin or another, where Merlin was able to speak with other members of this party who did not share a language. And your father always painted it as this sort of blessed godly ability. If this story is true, it may be that Merlin would be capable of speaking with the Pict. Do you want to give this information to your squires? Because if during the day you could also say, and as one of your tasks, ask Merlin to interpret or find out what he may know. This is also
That's a
kind of
fun
putting your
idea.
squires in the firing line of this kind of slightly scary wizard. So it's up to you if you want, and if you think that it will be useful, but you have the information.
What do we want to know from the Peaked? I mean,
My line was going to be based on the fact that Dave said that this guy had like kind of become a bit sullen and concerned. From my perspective, Sabaris is already like kind of lent into the no, we should be making sure this man is fed and comfortable. We are not barbaric. Like, this is someone who is a warrior, even if we don't necessarily recognize their rank. It is the correct and honorable and chivalrous thing to do to respect your enemy. So to kind of take a similar line, if it was coming from Boris specifically, or potentially my squire, to say, you are clearly concerned about your companions. This weather is unnatural for the season and they are likely suffering. If you're willing to share what you like, where they are, we will do our best to ensure that, you know, the minimum amount of harm comes to them, and essentially like try and like kind of also leaning on like, this weather came down when the sword was stolen. If we get this sword back, this weather goes away, your companions are safe. You can help them, and the way to help them is to tell us where the sword is. We will go and get it back. But like, you have brought down punishment. You've brought down wrath for doing this. Whether we don't want your people to suffer any more than you do. That was kind of the line I was going to go with.
I like it. I love it. Yeah, let's do it. Pass on to Filbert, which is a delightful name for a squire, I have to say. To say yes. Now you can go find Merlin. See if you can.
I feel like Merlin would be able to put the fear of God into some people if he chose to, even though
That's true.
Or just the fear of Merlin, to be honest.
Yeah, God.
If
please.
Merlin's willing to like assist with this line of questioning, being like, "Looky, you done fucked up. Give us back the sword. Tell us where it is. We're gonna go get it because you're screwed. You can't move in this weather. We can. Give it back."
But also,
and then we good.
I don't mind making a name for myself with Merlin as like a mover and a shaker. Like, man, Sir Hervis, he's just run off and he's left Merlin a voicemail. No one leaves Merlin a voicemail. This guy's a real go-getter.
I love that our squires are just voicemail.
Delightful.
Beep, beep. You have one squire.
Excuse me, sir.
I don't check my squires. If they really do, they'll send a message. Okay.
They'll send a falcon if it's really important.
They'll write a poem. Okay. The squires are set task, and they will tomorrow morning go about speaking with Merlin, arranging dogs, extra supplies, and they will meet you by this farmstead by tomorrow in the afternoon. The four of you intend to get some rest, get some horses, and get the hell out of here. Oh yeah, Jim.
Sorry, a final thing. I have a decent skill in bow. I figure that is the kind of thing that we're going into the woods. I will bring a ranged weapon.
Yep. If you have a skill, then it's appropriate that you would already have such a thing.
I will not, because shooting a melee enemy with a bow is considered unchivalrous. However, I'm not stupid, and I do not object to my companions having that. Yep. That is a code that I choose to exist by. And also my bow is 4.
Yep.
It's a Batman code. I won't kill you, they will.
Yeah. I won't kill you. Someone else might, but I might kill you, but I'm gonna do it in a way that I consider honorable.
Yeah. As is appropriate.
And you'll get the chance to I'll give you the chance to yield.
Then I'll kill you. Okay. Everyone makes their preparations, goes to sleep, and the next morning rises early, before the sun has risen, fetches their horses and their supplies, and you all meet by the northern gate to ride forth. Dame Gwenhild, you'll be pleased to know there is a table of hunting birds, and as a knight, you have a goshawk. Goshawk. It's a pigeon-sized bird. Oh no, it's prey. Haha. Pigeon-sized birds, rabbit-sized mammals, and rodents is what it goes for.
Yeah, I was wondering if potentially, given my heraldry, I might just have a raven pal.
Sick.
And
Way
you know,
better. Do that.
London, there are ravens there now still. Like these
Yes.
are Londinium ravens were a thing, still are a thing, and maybe one just took a liking to
That
me.
is deeply cool.
Because
yeah,
if we're-
absolutely.
If we're using the dogs to hunt, to do the hunting part, the burb is a scout, and ravens are real smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
using
love it.
falconry
That's
to
so
like
cool.
communicate with bird, but not necessarily to use the bird as though you
Yeah.
would a falcon for hunting.
Exactly. Not intending any retrieval here, but like a signal. Ravens are smart enough that there's a signal for here's a point of interest, and maybe that is something I've always been doing in my capacity as a sheriff's bodyguard. Go 3 times circling an area means point of interest.
Yeah.
So
That's
probably a piece
that's
of piss
amazing.
for a bird that smart.
I love it. Riding out, the 4 of you quickly find that the storm has, well, the snow has hidden all roads in the surrounding area, and there has not been enough passage. There was no like dedicated building, like carving of thoroughfares as Londinium has ultimately secured. So quickly you are placing the largest of the horses in the front and effectively like trowing your way through. It's shallower. There is movement in the area, but it's very, very limited. But this is going to be slow going straight off the jump. And honestly, you're now like, oh shit, I hope we just get to that farmhouse tonight near the woods. And then hopefully the squires have an easier go if it doesn't snow over the evening. I'm going to need horsemanship rolls from everyone, and one of you is taking -5 for being the lead. And if these fail, you are choosing to either all collectively go much slower, or these are horses that may become unwell. This is pretty significant conditions for them. Or it is, or possibly, and the slowing down could be sending them back and just pushing forward on your own. Up to you. Does anyone want to take point?
Who's what's
Great.
everyone's horsemanship?
Oh, great.
And
15.
11.
15. It might be you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You have the
also
map too.
I also have my magic saddle, which makes me auto succeed control horse. Is if there's a
You have-
control horse in the thing.
Ah,
I looked it up
you
because I
have-
was really hoping that it would be. From what I understand, if you want to use a horse in a way you're not meant to, or if you're fighting with a horse that isn't battle trained, you have to make control horse rolls.
I would apply that here, Jim. I think that will let you auto succeed, because I think it's this is not what this is a charger, or I mean you probably riding. I think you probably intentionally actually gotten your chargers for this because they're larger and stronger and can just push.
I was
through
fully
the
looking
snow.
at it being like, maybe I make a strength roll on behalf of my horse, and then I looked at my horse stats and I was like, never mind.
Yeah, the horse is
My
pretty
horse
strong.
has a strength of 32.
Horses
I
are
have a
big
strength
boys.
of
Kicks like a horse.
15. I'm almost half the strength of a
So
horse,
Mo,
but
we'll
not quite.
come back to describing how that looks, but I'll get everyone else to just make a straight horsemanship roll. Oh, you can do passions if you'd like. Up to you.
The
Just
only
to-
thing I was going to say
Definitely.
quickly is that, Alex, do you want me to risk Tiramor's family funds and say that I took her horse because it's a revenge trip?
No, I don't think. I'm not
All right,
sure.
easy.
I'm not sure Daffy would comply.
That's fair. Magic saddle or not?
More of a liability.
Yeah,
than that's
exactly.
it.
Genuinely.
I am
horse
just gonna
goes for the
make this
kill.
a straight roll.
Yeah, I'm just
Yep.
gonna straight roll this one.
I think I have the worst horsemanship, so I'm the most
Watch me
likely to slow
regret.
us down.
Yes, I
There's a
regret.
failure from Demquenheld.
This horse is not long for this world, I assume.
That's not a fumble. There's
It
another
isn't,
failure from
of course.
Tavares. So,
But
You
success
can-
from Hervis.
yeah, you can just go slowly. You, at pace, believe you'll probably arrive there. Maybe you'll get to the farmstead by night, but that will be your whole day travel. And then the horses are going to need to be stabled and probably go no further. Or you can push forward and risk the horses. There's mechanics in winter phase for basically unwell horses where it's a chance that you do lose them. This probably isn't them
You're gonna
dying
need-
right out of the jump, but it also
We're going to need them to get back.
and in just
Well-
the year to come.
Theoretically, we actually, I mean, if we're getting them to the stables, this is the important trip, right?
Yeah.
From the stables, we're probably going out on foot. Okay, that slows down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say like the only thing that I might, if there's an opportunity for the two that succeeded to go ahead and like mark the path so that they can get there and potentially do some setup, and the two of us.
It's pretty group
But if-
thing. You're
Especially
keeping the
under
pace and
ambush
dividing
risk.
the share of the bush.
Okay,
So
easy done. I'm happy to go slowly.
Because of Mo, we're not lost, and we're not,
We're
we're
gonna
not
get
going
there.
to not make it. But because of Boris and I, it'll be a bit slow.
Yeah. Mobe, can you describe what this like magic saddle, how it appears and what it does? And this was a gift from the church, if I remember correctly.
This is the saddle that I was given in return for taking my strange French squire. So it's a really, really nice saddle, and it gives me the capacity to automatically succeed on control mount checks. I basically it's a willing bridle with fillet. So it's I think it's got a bunch of like all of these religious little symbols, artifacts like inlaid into the leather. It's quite nice, but I think it is still made of sort of like, what makes it not sort of like an expensive artifact is that it's still just a saddle at the end of the day. So by now, a lot of the sort of like depictions have become like all smudged up as the leather has expanded, and it all looks a bit odd and weird. And I think it's just a lot of comfort being on horseback. I've previously ridden while injured and not been hurt. I think Tiramore was the only person who was a better rider than me.
Yeah.
And she's dead.
So now you're number one, baby. It all comes up. It's all coming up to Mobe. There is a comfort in the saddle, and a comfort in seeing your journey underway and with direction. And the weather is to reflect your grace. The sun comes out early in the morning, and as it rises, the clouds retreat away from it as if pushed by its beams, and a warmth filters down across the land, and you are able to see far away to the trees in the distance. Dame Gwenhild's bird takes flight at one point, and wheeling through the sky, you see it sort of crows sort of like rah, right? They sort of like yell almost, like it's quite a
They croak.
Yeah, you just like croaking yell as it circles, and it's certainly a very comforting image. It also, unfortunately, begins to melt this snow, which makes it just harder to get through. It begins to turn to slush. Only the top layer. There's still like quite a lot of it, and you're fording through it. Interpret it as you will. Perhaps this is a blessing. Boris.
My horse, Chowhound, tries to eat at every opportunity. Nugget
Good horse.
tries to eat the snow. Just turns around and takes a big old mouthful of some snow at one point and just chews on it, like none the wiser that he just tried to eat snow.
Good news, man. There's loads of it. Have at it.
I just love the idea of my horse like plodding along and every now and again turning around and being like, Harm.
And that's why it failed the roll. It has eaten so much
because it keeps
snow.
stopping to
An
eat the snow and then
ungodly
being confused that it isn't food.
You need to stop soft parenting that horse.
No. This horse is a good horse. Nugget is a gem.
The sun rises and falls. You take your break throughout the day, and come evening, just as the sunset is beginning to glint across the ice and warm in your armor, you sort of shed a few layers and are traveling much more lightly. You arrive at the farmstead. The people within are poor and have been isolated for some period, but they welcome you as knights and offer you comfort and a place to rest. You can tell them that your squires will be there in the morning, and they are welcome to sit with them. They have not seen these people coming and going. There was loads of travelers when they were all coming down to Londinium, and easily any number of people could have been coming along with them through the area. But since then, once the snows begin to come in, they haven't noticed. And during the days they were working, they actually have jobs to do. So that was their focus. You can clearly see that these are people without very much at this point, particularly as they've had to dig into their provisions, but they break them open to make sure that you as well are fed, and they have
And we
enough
shared
to...
some of our Boris at least is not particularly keen on seeing people go without, so it's very much willing to put some of, knowing that we have more supplies coming as well, is very happy to contribute his own
Replenish it.
provisions.
We could also, what we could also do is pay them a little. I think that's something that we have in abundance compared to them. So we can like overpay, well, you know, as long as they don't go hungry, which ideally they won't.
They do not appear to be, like, they are not going to starve as a result of this. They have enough. These are also, as far as common folk go, pretty well off. They have a house and land they tend to in service of the Lord. These are not the ones that are really struggling. They'll be okay for a few weeks of snow.
I think
they're screwed when they have to go out there and their fields are all, you know, it's messed up. But
yeah. I mean, if it's a case if they have enough food, perhaps, like, because the at this point we're dealing with like hospitality rules, and it would be like, you know, we would Boris probably said, please let us give you food. They're like, no, and then Boris is like, okay, can I help clear a path through the yard? Can I help, like, with some task that requires strength?
Sure.
You know, that so that kind of like,
if you
allow me to assist in some way.
If you would like to do that, you can. You arrive late, and this will be you working in the night. You can give me a strength roll, but this, if it fails, will tire you. You have a very important job to be cracking on with.
True.
Genuinely,
Tight timeline.
these commoners are doing their job.
Alright.
It's you can, but this will be going above and beyond, and there would be a sacrifice associated with this. It's if you
energetic
prioritize
lazy
this
roll?
above.
Energetic lazy roll.
Yeah,
If you-
I guess I could.
If you're willing to risk, there will be a downside if
You're
any
gonna
of
pop
these fail.
muscle, get a Charlie horse, and then you'll be the bill of potato tomorrow.
Yeah,
We got a
that
job
would be
today.
very bad because we're going to need you to fight.
Yeah, okay. I think it is just a case of thanking them for their kindness and perhaps giving them a promise of like future assistance. Like if there is something that you need,
The squires will
that we
come
can
through
help
tomorrow,
with.
and you can make sure that something will be given to them. And as Simone said, payment, just even a modest sum, will reflect, you know, their charity here, or turn it from charity to work. They sleep you in the nearby stables and promise to watch your horses while you head inside. They bring you some warm food so that you don't need to rely on your provisions, and let you rest. The night comes, and in the following morning, you wake again before the sun has risen. They've sort of brought a lot of their animals in from the farm, so the sort of call of a rooster will be what wakes you, and you can't help but remember Triamor's crest as it stirs you onwards and to your duty. Before you go, the folks that own this home will come out and wish you well, and they'll deliver a warning as well as you go inside. These woods are hunted, and regularly. They are not done
Hunted.
with...
Not haunted.
Hunted. Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. They are hunted regularly, but not done with so few nights, and, well, it's not so small a party, and not done in these conditions. You'll do well to keep track of where you are. Even a grove so small as this can become a labyrinth if you stray. And there have been folks that have been lost inside before. And this is a place where people go to hunt. It is boar that they hunt in these woods. And these very angry, muscular creatures are a threat to an armored knight. Now, this snow should have sent them scurrying, and they will be unlikely to be in a mood for aggression, but caution all the same. And with this warning, you gather your supplies, and having left your horses behind, head across towards the woods.
We have we have spears as part of our kit. If we knew that, did we know that there were boar in the woods, or was that something we did not know?
would have known. Yeah, that's.
Is it possible that rather than saying like we got 4 spears we can yeet, is it possible to have swapped one of those out for a boring spear, just one specifically?
You can have 2-handed spears, which will functionally you can use to get the reach on them. They'll risk.
Probably can't carry as
breaking.
much stuff though without our squires, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what
certainly.
squires are for,
You guys
carrying
basically
half
don't.
our
Yeah,
shit?
you won't have like reloads of anything. And also,
Yeah,
I
no,
need to
that's
know:
why I'm-
are you staying armored? It is much harder to move in the woods while armored. And Samo, when you went through, you basically stripped down and lost a lot of yours because it's so hard to travel through here. So what you would do in a regular hunting thing is you would strip down to like just your akaton, which is the internal, like the cloth covering, and you would probably bring like a spear, and maybe Samo would keep his bow. Like, you don't really need your swords so much. You're not expecting to get into a fight. You are going after people. You should probably keep the swords. But a sword and then a shield, now suddenly you're kind of at capacity. Food, if you're going to be in here for a day or more, shit. Okay, now we got backpacks as well. You know, it very quickly will add up.
I am injured. I have to take my armor at this stage after having been whacked so thoroughly. Yeah.
No.
I think I'm in the same boat.
If it is a choice between 2 companions armored and 2 companions shielded, I will carry extra to ensure that my companions do not have to burden. My strength is 15.
Yep.
And I'm big.
Yep.
So, like, I would like to argue that, like, just in terms of how much actual physical space I have on me to store things, and also, like, how big and or strong I am. Oh, also my constitution's 18.
Pretty tanky, yeah.
Like, I'm solid. So I would like to, if possible, Dave, I will take on, like, carrying an extra shield or like an extra like spear, something for a companion who would otherwise need to offload armor.
Yep.
Because I would prefer that we go in armored if possible.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
you take the food.
You can shoulder the bulk of it. Anyone armored is going to be having a -5 to hunting rolls with your full mail.
I'm not planning on hunting anyway.
It's kind of you are going as a group, you know. This is like stirring things out. There's a reasonable chance that we're doing rolls where I ask all of you to roll. So this
And
probably will
what
apply.
do the dogs add to hunting?
Without dogs, there's another negative. Dogs
Okay.
are the standard way to do this. The falcon might be able to be done. That will be a different skill that will get you some direction. But this is a thing that's typically done with a large party with, you know, supplies and on horseback. You are doing none of these. You are here in winter in knee-high or higher snow.
But we also don't mind if they find us before we find them.
That is true. So, you know,
We're not
results.
I think we stay armored. We know these guys are brutal.
Okay.
We've what we've seen traipsing through woods. Even if we're going by past experience, we have seen one person strip off and run into the woods. Although that was on a success at hunting.
It was.
And we have also seen Hervis get nuked twice by arrows. Although, admittedly, he was wearing armor. So I don't know. It's all out the window.
So
the
if you strip
first,
down
and
for
then
what it's
it was a
worth,
spear.
you'd strip down to your Gambison, which is 4 points of protection. So you have 4 armor rather than 10, and then you will have no penalties. You could, while you are there, just ditch your armor.
Gambison?
Yeah.
I don't have a Gambison. I have an Akaton.
Oh, in that case, it's 2 points. Bad news.
Yeah. Unless there is a way of us swapping what armor we had while we were in the
You
I
did not have
think
the time.
You'd have to,
for-
like,
yeah, that was where you guys
Um,
had to go fast.
It does
fine.
not make sense to remove armor, but if armor is a -5 penalty and we have to do group rolls, I'm at
Yeah.
0.
Maybe we
And
do
I
the
don't,
first
like-
day without it, and then once we get the dogs, we can reassess.
Okay.
Sounds like we
Okay.
don't really have a choice.
Yeah, I think for the first day when we were just trying to pathfind.
You can just traipse
and-
around a bit is fine too.
Yeah.
You could spend that. You could just also not go into the woods this first day. You could
Yeah,
just
which
walk
we
the
weren't.
perimeter.
We weren't going to do until we got the dogs anyway.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, if we can do just more of like a perimeter.
Pathfinding the assessment, we can do that without. See if we can find their point of ingress, and we can do that without armor.
Or we can do that without hunting rolls, right?
That'd be a hunting roll still, I think. But if we're not armored, we can do more of a perimeter search. We'll be quicker. Like, go just a little bit into the woods, not we're trying to find their point of ingress to get a direction. We're not going to be doing the main hunting stuff until we have the dogs anyway.
In which case, it sounds like we're getting some people on horseback. We can do sort of a spin around the perimeter. It could also be worth... I think that we can trust these people, but it's possible that, they're bringing in a lot of their animals. It's winter. They might have lost one or two, and they could have just put it up to winter or wolves. In reality, it's vicious picks. It could be worth having a chat with them and seeing if we can more deeply go through accounts and information and see if we can get anything from that.
Okay. If you want to, you can set today to just preparing, and we can divide up basically tasks. So it'd be horsemanship or similar would be doing a circuit. Then Gwenhild, if you want to roll falconry, for seeing if your crow can spot anything of note. And then yes, you can roll intrigue to see if these folks have discovered anything that maybe they just didn't realize. What task does everyone want to do? And we're going to assume this the whole day.
I want to case the locals.
It's just
turn up some leads,
more or less. But yep, so be intrigue.
I'll do a horsemanship test then. I'm just doing a big wide circuit trying to find an ingress point.
I'm going to get you to roll for this one, Jim, because it's going to be just like your pace and everything. Don't roll just yet. I'll just get everyone's intentions, because if people are going as teams, you can try and assist one. Similar.
I'll go with Mob, but with falconry. I'm not going to be doing the looking for an ingress point. I'll be falconing.
Yep, that sounds good.
I suppose if there's any preparations I can do to make getting equipment getting ourselves armored around easier, I will do that. Otherwise, I will assist Sir Hervis. I should be friendly.
You could requisition a donkey and load it up with as much gear as possible, and then leave the armor on that with the intention to go forward in groups and keep tabs on one another, and then come back and armor up when you find an encampment or something. This would be like someone staying back with the donkey and the others going forward, and then we risk people getting lost in woods and all sorts of fun stuff, but that would be a way to move things in while preserving your armor. You can just pay them for it. You have the currency to do so.
I mean, yeah, that if that is... Do folks want their armor to go in, for a battle? If we find them, do we want to be armor up, let's go?
Idea.
These guys are brutal,
It also lets us bring in Turimor's Carnix if we need to kind of call people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Nigel could be bringing that with the dogs.
Yeah.
Actually, that applies. Okay, all right.
In that case, I'll set to setting that up. If that takes me the whole day, that takes me the whole day. Otherwise, as I said, I'll assist Sir Hervis with whatever he's doing as well.
Yeah, that'll be your action for the day, getting that prepared and everyone squared away, and in addition to helping and da da da. Okay, so I'll get intrigue from Sir Hervis. It's gonna be horsemanship from Sir Mobe and falconry from Dem Gwenhild. So Boris, I'm gonna ask you to make a hunting roll. This is preparing for a hunt. This is going into it. Seen the same way you roll swordsmanship for keeping your sword prepared.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A failure, you'll still get some, content, but this is getting things as set as possible. All right. I see a horsemanship. I see a failure, not quite a fumble. A failure on the intrigue. And for our a failure for the hunting. Okay.
Well,
not a great day for the gang.
Hey.
The sun.
Sorry, we'll rally. We got this. We got to get that sword.
You rise with the rooster's crow.
Genuinely, the best one is we've got some mob doing scouting. That's honestly the most important thing. We need to know where they are. The rest of that was maybe helpful, but
the rest of that was a bonus. Once we get the dogs, that bumps my, that gives me a bit of a protect on the hunting, and I'll have the 10 hunting and the 10 falconry, and I don't know how we want to handle that, whether that just gives one a bonus or whatever, but once my hunting comes into it, we're a little bit better.
Yep. You rise with the rooster's cry and head out to fulfill your tasks. So Boris and Sir Hervis remain here helping out with the people, and in doing so, inquiring about the recent past. You are able to procure a donkey from them. They will give it to you. They will basically let you buy it for a sum not significant enough to track here. It is certainly in no great condition, and they make no secret of that. But it will carry some supplies. It can carry the armor. It's just not an excellent creature for it. You can load it up, but someone's going to need to lead it, and if it gets spooked or anything, it may bolt with all of your equipment. Which probably wouldn't be ideal.
Yeah.
So
I have the highest horsemanship, I guess, so I'll watch it.
I mean, I was gonna say
Donkey
I'm big and strong. If that
I will
donkey bolt
hold
says
it.
a chance, I might be able to like at least hold on to
Wrestle
it. And...
it.
Just sit on it.
my backup was
and my
horsemanship.
brawling's 15. I
Brawl's
think
very
we're
funny for wrestling the donkey.
Yeah, just nah.
Yeah, my
Also, if the
backup was gonna be
donkey's
the
small,
bow.
I sit on that thing and it's not going fucking anywhere.
Anywhere.
Well, actually, the donkey might still.
Might make
Donkeys
the
are pretty
donkey
hardy.
fairly unwell.
Yeah.
So Hervis, in speaking with these people, you don't get any insight into like other people's comings and goings. They haven't seen anyone going into the woods, and if they have, they've done it secretly. And it's large enough that they only have a direct eye on like one part of it. There's places further across the road where they might have been able to go in. But what's reiterated to you is just how like sudden this storm set in. It was really, winter was breaking, it was clearing up, and it was looking to be a, much nicer period, and then suddenly this just came in like a divine act, and they've been locked inside waiting for it to break, which mercifully it does seem now is going to happen. They also, news has reached here that Arthur drew the sword, and they're very excited about that, and they talk about it.
yeah.
News has not
Great.
reached here that the sword has been
Oh.
lost.
Fantastic, even better.
How do you respond? And I might get a trait roll, something like
I was just thinking that.
Honest?
Honest, deceitful?
prudent, reckless, modest, proud.
Honest, deceitful.
Honest, deceitful.
Honest,
is what
deceitful
it is,
feels
I think.
very good. Oh, and you are,
Surely.
I'm looking at Boris's sheet. Boris is
No,
famously
I'm
honest. which-
Famously honest. It's good that I'm not here right
Yep.
now. I'm wrestling with a cranky donkey.
So Hervis, which would you like to roll against first?
Well, I'm at 9 honest, 11 deceitful, and I think it's interesting for the character if I bump deceitful up.
Yep.
So I kind of want
I agree.
to, not let on that
You
we're here to save that
lost it.
sword that they heard so much about.
Yeah, let's
So
I'd like
was
to
it
start
what?
with, deceitful.
Yep.
I have failed.
Please
But-
roll against honest.
That would be really funny.
Okay,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
So still ball in my court.
that almost fumbled.
I would allow them to continue to believe that the boy king has the sword and all is well. and
you
we're all
just
very
don't
excited.
elaborate on any of it.
Do you,
Yes,
if
we're
you
here to find some
fumble
picts.
honest, would you have then still checked deceitful? Is that like if
Yeah,
the
I
honest
think so.
because you
I think you would go. Oh no, I see. Yes, I think you
Yeah.
would. I think you would have checked deceitful, and we possibly would have just had you like overdo it a little bit, maybe. Like, actually,
Make up a whole backstory.
or you just straight up say King Lot stole it. We know it's them, and like really lean into all sorts of things you could do, or throw it on another person. It was that other guy that stole it, and they were on watch. It wasn't us. Okay.
No, I don't think I care that much about these two peasants out in the middle of the woods care about us. But no, yeah, that's fine. I'm happy for them to believe that all is well and back in
All
London.
as well in Londinium. Okay. For Samob and Demgren Hill, do you spend the whole day doing a large circuit as far across the woods as you can? You cannot circle the whole thing in a day, so you make a large arc heading further from here, which is the western point, up to about the north, knowing that logically if they'd come down on the major
That's where they
roads,
wanna go, yeah.
this would be somewhere where they'd probably have gone in. The eastern side and the south are the least likely, so hopefully it's along here. As you're doing this, Dame Gwen Hills, you let your bird out several times and it wheels through the air. And it is a failure, but it kind of carries some information with it that your bird finds no prey. Times are pretty hard here, and even the wildlife have certainly been hit by this sudden storm. And anyone that was stationed in here that was relying on hunting, or poaching as it were, to survive would have been fairly hard pressed to make do. Could be that if they are still within, or when you find them, they're maybe in dire straits. Sir Mobe, it's as you're turning around and making your way back with the sun beginning to lower and hoping that you will find your squires when you return and the others repaired, that you are allowing your gaze to just sort of idly scan the horizon now in a pattern that you've repeated throughout this whole morning, afternoon, and now evening, that they catch on a large branch that has not just been broken but actually like sawn down and moved out of the way, and the branch itself is snowed over, but you can still see the marks where it was cut. And Gwenhild has said that like the arborists or whatever they send in to clear out these hunts have not yet started their work. This has been done before that, but it is recent enough to have been done in this year. And pushing closer, you see that there is a path that's been pushed through into the woods. It is wide enough that they have gotten at least horse in at some point. This wouldn't have been caravans and everything, but you also notice that it has snow over it and no footprints through it. Once it gets actually under the boughs, there is much less snow, but it looks as though people have not come back out this way.
If we're lucky, they'll all be dead in a crumbling little shack somewhere. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, it'd be great if they just all froze to death while we were making these elaborate plans.
I mutter to myself, what a pretty picture, because having learnt literacy, I can now do puns. And then ride back to tell the others.
I mean, it is worth acknowledging that even if they are weakened and perhaps some of them have died, the ones that are alive are going to be desperate.
Oh yeah.
That is a dangerous. That's what boars are. That's why boars are dangerous. It's because they are desperate and armed with, muscle and tusks. These Picts are desperate and armed with muscle and axe. It's a very similar state of affairs, which now I'm extra specially glad that I asked my squires to bring me a boring spear specifically.
One is smelly swine that rolls in filth, and the other's a boar.
Which also, funsies, boring spears, just really thick, heavy, regular spears, but they have a cross guard so that the boar's tusks get
can't
caught
still
in them.
get to you.
Yeah, because a boar will run up an entire spear to kill you. If it can, and it will. And the reason that they're so big and heavy is that obviously if they shatter, the boar still dies, but it's gonna get you too. So boring spears, really like interesting piece of kit, and also explains, like, learning about them. You're like, oh, boars are terrifying. I don't know how we turned them into bacon. Truly.
Years and years of domestication. And I think it's actually
catching
not
the nicest ones.
I think it's not boars. I think it's a different path through for pigs, right? I think boars are lightly so. I don't think boars are pigs just domesticated boars, or I feel like boars are domesticated.
They are a different species.
Okay. I think boars are particularly nasty.
They are now, yeah.
There's wild pigs, but they're not the same as. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my.
What is interesting is that if you put a regular pig into the woods, where there's trees and mushrooms and mud instead of like the conditions at a farm, they get a lot more boar-like. It's sort of keeping them in cities and like agricultural communities that makes them associated with some of the sort of like smelliness that they get associated with. Yeah.
Okay. Returning to the farmstead, your squires have made the journey, although it was a long one, and they arrive after the sun diminishes. You're able to see their torches coming and set out to join them and make sure that they know exactly the right farmstead. They come fairly loaded. They have a number of dogs coming along with them that are occasionally sort of bounding forward and barking. They have limited control over them, we'll say. And they brought an extra horse each, so they are coming as like a small caravan, and they are loaded up with supplies, the things you requested, and a few other choice ingredients just in case. They're not, they'd rather be over-prepared than under. To the task of Merlin, I will have Sir Hervis roll for his squire's knightly skills. So I think you're up to 7 here for your gentleman. To see if he was able to muster the courage, or at least do it successfully.
I just wikied the difference between pigs and boars. They
Yeah.
are essentially the same thing.
They are,
Boars are the ancestor of all domesticated pigs, but I just found there's hunting terminology for the different ages. And if a boar is between 0 and 10 months, it's called a squeaker. And I'm
Cute.
dying.
It's called dinner.
Dying. That's like both adorable and terrifying. Like very sad, but like, oh my goodness. I'm so glad I looked that up. Also, at over 7 years of age, they are referred to as grand old boars, because apparently they don't live very long. But yeah,
Once
there
they
you
turn
go.
18,
They're
they
too
become
delicious
pigs.
to live very long.
They are, in fact, at least like the boar in the Britain and stuff, they do appear to be the ancestors of most domesticated. So they would be, if not, they are the same genus thingy, if not the same direct species.
That's very cool.
Jackson, how have you gone on?
My squire skill, it's just a 17. Does that mean he's got 17 at all knightly skills? 'Cause that's
17
more
is
than I do.
no. 17 is your squire skill. You roll that to
that's
have
right.
them
Yeah,
fetch
that's
you
what I
a
was looking
lance
at.
or whatever. He
Gotcha.
has 7 in trying to do stuff competently.
That's what I'm thinking of. All right, great. So this is his intrigue roll, or
Functionally, yeah.
is it intrigue a knightly skill?
Good call.
No, the
I
knightly
guess
skills
it's
are the ones
base
that we had
5.
to hit 10 in to be knighted.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess it's actually just base 5.
Yep.
Give it a whirl. Roll against a 5 then.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
see
we'll
what
see
happens. Hey. Yeah, I mean, we've done like so average at all of our average skill rolls. So now's about the time
Earned a
where I
couple
roll
of
good
against
ones,
a
yeah.
5 and get a 5 and get a crit. So let's make that happen. Well, that's not
that's
bloody
still-
bad.
Hey,
That's not
Filbert!
bloody
Correct,
bad. All right, now we're talking.
Filbert, when you come up, you guys all meet, and there's a lot of like, oh, squires, knightly talk, yada yada, period piece. And your squire rides a little bit further forward to Hervis to meet you, and just supplies yada yada, and then asks to speak with you alone for a moment. When you join on the side, he says, I approached Merlin, and
Good.
I said it as you suggested, and he went with me to speak with that Pictish prisoner. He's a strange, he's wise, of course. But I found his mood odd. He was spirited far more than anyone else here, and I suspect he may have been. I suspect he may have been drunk as we were. He seemed almost festive. Now, I would not want to spread rumors that are inappropriate, but it just strange, certainly. And as we were walking, he told me he was willing to entertain this motion, but that it was hardly necessary, and that all the pieces were in the field as they were required. The metaphor extended to some game I'm not familiar with, but it seemed as if this was superfluous and he was doing it merely to entertain a fancy. We met with the Pictish man, and he, again, rosy-cheeked almost, and swaying a mite as he knelt down to speak with the prisoner, who has no chains but is being watched at all times. And he spoke perfectly in their barbaric tongue. The man was shocked at first, but I think he found some relief in hearing his language, although how anyone can find relief in that tongue, I shudder to think, but he found it at least, and then his words tripped out from him quickly, and it was as though a waterfall was erupting from his mouth as he'd kept this pent up for so long that suddenly he felt he must speak, and yet Merlin translated little for me. He only said, yes, the woods it is, you have it.
Oh. Well, Merlin is wise, and he is known to give much aid to quests of good standing and good valor, and the fact that he did not stymie us is a vote of confidence.
Yes,
Yes, let's go with that.
I think so. Yes, that must be right. Well, we have the supplies. I'll make your bed, sir, and you'll be ready in the morning. And
Good work, Philip.
he heads away to prepare. Clearly, kind of, "Ugh, that was weird. Don't know about that," and goes up to his tasks.
Yeah.
What do you share of this?
The air of someone who's done his best and seems to have worked out but doesn't understand why.
Yeah.
I'll share that with the companions. Just say that, yes, Merlin lent assistance. Well, Merlin lent assistance to our quest, but not quite in the level that I've heard my father tell of. But let us take it as a vote of confidence regardless, for I do not know how to take it otherwise.
Yeah.
I know little of Merlin. He seems like a strange man, but keeps counsel with many great folk, many respectable people. At minimum, we know our plan is not for naught.
Not
we know
following.
we are going in the right direction. That alone was worth the conversation. To have that confirmed is good. We can be a little surer of ourselves and our path from here. And from what I understand of Merlin, he seems to give more counsel than direct guidance. And in this, it feels like it fits the character. He has given us guidance that we are on the right path.
And we need to only prove ourselves to win more of his confidence and therefore win more guidance in the future from him.
I suspect if Merlin had anything to do with the rise of the young Arthur, and he is celebratory, then he must know something good is going to come of all of this. Whether it is us or something else, who knows?
Not of us was the impression that Philbert gave me. Not he did. It seems that he was in a good mood and he was celebratory, but perhaps our actions are not related to his mood. Perhaps we are not yet as central to the story of Outlanders as we will be someday. I have no doubt.
But Sir
Merlin no
Hovis,
doubt has his plans, but I don't know that they included this happening in the first place. I can't imagine they did, so it's not like he's infallible.
No, and you
maybe
saw him
it's-
to be a very different person on that morning, in those early hours. That was not the Merlin you've seen. In the coming
Merlin
days.
makes plans and God laughs, I think. We'd best still be aware of we're gonna be on our own here.
perhaps I am too literal. But who else at this time is on the field? We are literally on a field. Perhaps, as you say, Merlin is not interested in us in the slightest. It is just an interesting turn of phrase.
Yep.
And were I to take it literally, which I do, we are on a field right now. I would like to believe... No, not I would like to. I do believe that whether he means us or not, we are on the field and we should take to the field and we have a path forward. Huzzah!
Hurrah!
I would like to swing my sword.
It swings.
Enthusiastically.
It does so enthusiastically.
Enthusiastic.
Is there any other? It's already late. The sun is set, and your squires prepare your beds for you and procure your nourishment for the evening. They will rise first and make sure that everything is ready. And if you wish to bring them on the hunt, they can be in charge of the donkey.
Hell yeah.
Or you can
I
leave
actually
them.
think
Good idea.
having more people, like,
Yep.
because the whole point of a hunt is the more people, the more eyes, the more better.
Yep.
Seems like a good idea to bring them along regardless and have them assist us with things like weaponry and armor and stuff if
Makes
we need
sense.
it, so.
Okay.
The one thing I do is, as we go to bed that night, we were attacked by picks in the evening last time, and I'm just a little on edge. I put my sword in an easy to grab place in a panic.
Yep.
That's all.
Just a little. Yeah, it's not paranoia if you're right sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just nothing wrong with sleeping with your axe on occasion.
That's what I say. That's what I always
Do
say.
not sleep in armor. It is uncomfortable. I have tried. But sleep with a sword next to you, easily done.
That's all good.
Do we want to keep watch?
It's
Good.
I would assume you guys do. Like you go about, you have the squires doing it. One of you gets up at one point and has a look around. You are competent knights. Recent sword loss notwithstanding. The morning comes, and some of you feel as though you've woken with half the memory quickly fading of a fairly strange dream. Is anyone particularly high spiritual? As in spiritual, worldly. I don't think any of you have this as a famous characteristic.
No, but mine is 13.
Okay.
So I have a bent towards spiritual over worldly.
Can you make a? Does anyone have? I guess anyone with favorable spiritual, leaning spiritual as opposed to worldly, can make a spiritual roll, please.
Just Boris, who believes in the things he is told without question, for he believes everyone is as honest as he.
Samob also with 12 and a somewhat godly bent.
Very successful.
The two of you on waking and preparing share a look, and whether you speak it or not, you were in each other's dreams just this last night. Actually, all of you were. It's only glimpses still, but you felt yourselves being sort of whirled around a stage, almost out of control of your own bodies, as you just felt yourselves being like tugged hither and thither and swept back and forth, as if pulled by great ropes tied around your waist. And the last image, as you sort of faded into waking, were of the stars above you, for this was a stage under the night, winking out one by one until only 2 distant suns were left, and they closed as well. And then when you woke up, this sort of quickly began to fade, but it sort of stuck with you for long enough to recognize.
May I make a brief point quickly?
Mm-hmm.
Before going downstairs then, I might, because it very much reminds me of the eyes of a certain wizard. And I'm thinking back, after failing all of these roles and things like this, I'm feeling a bit at pull and pushed by various spiritual forces. I think what I'd like to do is I take a moment to, I don't quite adopt a prayer stance because I'm still a good Christian boy at heart, but I sit contemplatively and think back to the woman that I ran into in the woods near my father's estate, which for all of it was a decision that I made. You know, I stumbled into it, yes, accidentally, but I chose to stumble into it. So I feel a lot more like I was the agent of that decision. And I kind of think to myself, if I'm being pulled by forces I don't understand here, if Merlin has his hand on the scales, then you got your hand on first. I'm sort of like, it's liege lord stuff. It's like it's not so much like you're protecting me as much as you would have to give authority. And it's just sort of an idle thought for a bit, but to calm myself about Merlin before I stand back up and head back down.
I think as you finish this not prayer, but your hands clasped all the same.
Not Christian prayer.
Yeah, as you pull your hands away, you see that you still got just the faintest red dye sort of underneath your nails, and at the edge must have been something from breakfast or the other. You're sure you cleaned them just the other day, but here they rise all the same. So Boris, how do you think do you sort of cast away, or something that maybe you dwell on?
I think Boris is spiritual, is trusting, but there aren't too many traits for which Boris does not actually lean towards the left-hand side of the scale on the sheet. I guess those are what are considered the more good.
There's variety.
Virtuous traits.
Depends on the religion. Depends on the creed.
Yeah. I think Boris is a simple man, and he understands that the lot of a knight is to be pulled by people much more powerful than he.
And to do your damn
And he
job,
follows
yeah.
their lead. And the stars, while present and helpful for navigation and various other things, they don't. The stars look down upon the earth and what happens upon it as observers. You know, there is nothing kind of special about them. They watch. And I think Boris takes this to sort of be like, you are being pulled, but at the same time you are unwatched. And that sort of gives him a level of like comfort in the fact of being like, yeah, we do get pulled around, but like it does not matter to be pulled by forces beyond your control.
It's kind of the role of a knight. Like,
yeah, and like knowing that no one is paying attention to that means that it is easier to not feel overwhelmed by a lack of control in what is happening. To know that you are being pulled and to know that people see that and know that of you is a very different situation to being like, well, I'm being pulled, but no one sees that.
Yep.
So they believe I act the way I act for my own sake, and they can choose to believe that does not impact. So I think Boris wakes up with kind of a weird sense of like calm and centeredness and understanding of his place in the universe in a very simple way. I don't think he could articulate that particularly well.
It's just there. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So with, you know, the night's rest and the early rise, your squires have prepared for you the dogs, who are, you know, just hungry enough to keep them focused on the task at hand, and the donkey, which has been fed enough to hopefully stay with you as much as possible, and a big rope for plan B. It's been loaded up with all of your armor and everything, and the squires, the plan will be for them to stay with the donkey and stay, like, at points. Like, you get throwaways, they stay there, then you guys continue on, and then they come forward to join. You will be splitting up at some point because you are avoiding the mail and the distraction and that, and you cannot cover so much ground moving at the pace of a donkey, and this is still a large enough wood, but is as secure as it's as good a plan as any. Dame Cranhild has her falcon, and although you will not be armored, your armor will be nearby, and as long as you are not jumped and shot from the bushes, you should be able to put it on before things don't.
Not at all.
And you were armored that time and it went super badly, so, you know,
yeah, I was gonna say,
whatever.
not while armored, not while unarmored. We've never been jumped and shot while unarmored.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. We just don't wear our armor, and then we won't get jumped. Brilliant.
They say, well, if you don't get
That's-
found, shit. Okay. You guys spent a couple hours getting towards the point where Sir Mobe found the entrance, and the sun is truly high at this point, and now you can begin to see really the snow has dropped quite a bit. Even in the distance, you can actually make out like the fields. The people that you're staying at, they've actually begun to go out and like start getting a sense of what the work needs to be done. They've exited the house this day, and it is now 4 days until Candlemas. Counting today and counting Candlemas. So if you arrive on the 4th day, it is on the day. So we're getting into hustle time. Realistically, you probably expect you may be camping in the woods tonight, unless you are particularly fast, or lucky that they are just near at hand. With that, you set to your task. So we're going to make... you all have an opportunity to make the hunting roll, and we're going to roll it against the avoidance of the Picts, which is their ability to hide. And we're running this functionally as a hunt. You have the dog, so there is no -5 penalty. You also have you are not wearing armor, so you do not have that penalty either. However, the significant snows and everything have made things difficult, so there is still a -5. From that, Dame Cranhild, you are a local here and you know it, so you get a +5 that cancels. So it's -5 for the others. You're a straight roll. We will see how you go.
Roll.
Unless you apply a passion.
Great, we get to look out.
Yeah, I mean, at this, I may as well
Yeah.
stay with the donkey. There is
Yeah.
no reason for me to go further. I think like that. Yeah, there is hunting is not a thing that Boris
It's
is.
not your angle, and it's very
capable.
cold.
So I think, in that case, could I? Is there like a?
It's the same way sometimes the numbers stack up and you can't fail.
Yeah,
Sometimes the
yeah.
numbers go down and
Yeah.
it's not in your wheelhouse.
Awareness?
Is that,
Makes-
so it's basically
Yeah.
flat -5 is the final. Yeah. Okay.
Everyone at Dan
Could I
Grenville
stay
is-
with the donkey and make an awareness roll? My awareness is not good. And
This
I'm not
is I'm
necessarily-
doing this over the course of the day. If when
Right.
circumstances prevent, maybe, but for the moment, hunting is what this is you guys trying
Cool.
to track these dudes down.
Then I shall stay with the donkey and the squires and the gear and lend myself to, if the donkey gets spooked, just being a very big presence to be like, no, 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 no,
Make sure we stick with
No.
our shit.
Okay.
no.
I will make an attempt because just narrative at this stage. I don't think it's going to be effective, but I'll make a hate dad passion check. Same thing as I did last time.
Amazing. I'm going for homage lord passion check.
Yep.
This is my job. Doing my job.
Yay! Hell yeah!
Yep, this is again, only ever applied to hunting, I suppose. You just prove that. Okay,
Hate
success
all
both those.
bad.
Yeah, plus,
That's
wait, before you,
great.
before you roll your next one, I just want to get
Oh, sorry.
roll a failure from Simone. So Hervis, are you rolling on yours?
I think I better get some passion from my lord as well, and then if I can help with the hunting, then I was probably going to help with the hunting.
Okay, all right, go for it. Yep, this is you guys going about your task. Stretching the definition a little bit, but okay,
Nice.
that's a +5.
It's all no, you're right. Yeah, do you want to take that away? No, too late.
No. We did
All right,
it for
great.
the others too. It is you are trying to get back their favor, which you have lost, so I think it applies.
fair.
All right. So everyone that's succeeded has a +5. Jim has rolled his hunting and failed. So Dem Gwenhild, yours is a net +5. So Hervis, yours is a net straight roll.
Well, yeah, it's straight roll +5 because of passion.
Mine was a gross straight roll.
I get the +5 for my passion though.
Yes,
'cause
yours is
I was
yours is
a
a
straight roll.
you have a net +5. Yeah.
Yeah, bird, no help.
Not in this one. You can set it out to look at as well.
Yes,
Hey, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
same roll.
You spend the whole of the day scouring these woods and very cautiously egging back and forth and avoiding ever leaving the donkey and the squires and Sir Boris very far behind.
Too far.
Fanning out in sort of a small area looking for signs of disturbance and then coming back and following the most logical trail. The snow on the ground lets you see that some animals have begun to move around this area, but you also find a number of dead creatures that perished in the sudden storms, like birds frozen in the trees above and woodland critters that couldn't quite survive this secret second winter. You also find as the sun begins to set and you are navigating by torchlight, with a sudden jolt of panic, so Hervis, you come face to face with a picked sentry. And as you stumble back, drawing your sword
What do
in
you say,
one
face
swell
to
motion,
face?
and then it does not move. The eyes remain frozen, and he has died at his watch.
Oh,
Fantastic news.
This
Not for
sudden
him.
storm clearly took them by great surprise.
Oh.
And he has nestled in to a crevice between a couple trees, clearly hoping to just wait out this brief sort of flurry of snow, but then was not able to exit. And you will actually, although you would not recognize the person, you may recognize the wounds. Unpainted and dressed in more clothing, this is one of the Picts that attacked the cathedral those weeks ago. And if the sentry is here, their camp should not be far beyond. Dame Gwenhild,
Excellent
on
news.
your return, you have found a section where some trees have attempted to be harvested, and there's a furrow through the snow that must have been dug at some point during the storm, but has not been gone through recently. A few trees were felled, and it looks as though someone might have pushed out a little bit further, but they didn't get very far. You actually find like a boot or something that was abandoned in this section. You think you're probably not too far from wherever this camp is. You're like quietly now. You will reconvene at the donkeys, and what would you like to do? It's nighttime.
Outstanding. I am just so pleased to have the drop on someone else for once. This is great.
Just for once.
Do we, between those two pieces of information, were they gathered in the same direction, or is this a triangulation that we can do? Well, technically not a triangulation, we're missing a third point, but you know what I mean.
You have it. You're pretty sure you know about where you think the next one. The sentry would have been a little bit further along, around a corner. The path goes that way. You're pretty sure it's not far. You cannot hear anything from it. You waited for a little while, but you also didn't push too far forward because you were alone at the times and you wanted to head back to your parties.
Mm-hmm.
Do we armor and go in cover of night and deal with what is left, or do we try again tomorrow? And
Night? Yeah, I mean, is it nighttime now?
It is nighttime now. The sun has fallen. It is pure black underneath all of this.
I think we take the advantage of the cover of night. I don't think they would expect us to follow them through this storm, and this is a prime opportunity.
If we attack them and they flee, get away, and it is daytime, they will move far and we will not be able to follow them. If we attack them now during the night and they flee, they will have to stop and rest. They will be unprepared. They'll be running through the dark. Even though it might be easier for them to initially get away, we will have
based on that dead sentry. Based on the dead sentry, I don't think they're in great shape. I don't think they're going anywhere.
You're logically, if the storm has broken already. It's broken for 2 days now. 3 now actually. If they were going to go, maybe they're waiting for it to melt a little bit more, but I don't know. If they were really eager to leave and in the capacity to do so, they probably would have started out. And they may have gone the other direction, but in that case, they're going the way they're going deeper into the woods that way actually. So,
I think we do it now.
Armor up and go.
They are either there and in not good shape. They have either abandoned their camp, in which case it's ours now for the night, which beats wherever we've left the donkey in halfway through the woods. Or they are somewhere in between, in which case we'll be wearing our armor this time and heck 'em.
Armor, weapons, shields.
Right
in the direction that we believe the camp to be.
Okay. Your squires set to their tasks. They plant a few torches in a ring, and each of them step forward to begin to buckle you into your sort of carapaces, the agaton taken on, then the mail drawn over, belts laid. Your heraldry is drawn on, your knights, and you're gonna wear the brand, damn it. Put your hat on. Your swords are placed in position, your shields. You're still gonna be running pretty lean and mean. I think this is unless you say otherwise, sword, shield, armor, nothing else. You're not gonna have the surplus spears or anything.
I'm not
You're gonna charge forward and get the bastards. Yep, axe.
Yeah, sword, shield, armor, or weapon, shield, armor, and then the squires will stay with the donkey.
Yes.
Because we will come back and get everything and then head back to rest or make camp, whatever we need to do.
May I have my chakram, my specially bought one thrower?
Yes, that's reasonable to just slap on the side. Okay. Prepared and dressed in your things. What do you want to do about how dark it is? Is anyone willing to forego it? You carry, there's a sword in one hand and a shield in the other. That's pretty committed to both. If one of you's willing to lose the shield and carry a torch.
I'm not bringing a shield. My axe needs to be wielded double-handed, but I can carry it with one.
Okay. So you can carry, but if we go to fight, you would need to drop it, and we go to dark.
Alternatively,
I think we want the night vision. I think we go without torch.
It is very
forest,
dark. It is in woods. It is black. Yeah. The trees eat all of the moonlight. It is black.
No, but I mean, like, if they have a campfire and it goes out, then we want our night vision. I wear an eye patch. I'm gonna go pirate style, so I can move it over.
Throw away, but okay.
I will carry a torch and my shield. We have established that Boris will stand in the way of most blows without hitting things. There are better swordsmen.
You can always drop it and draw if you need
and I can always drop my shield and draw my sword, or like drop the torch and draw it, depending on what happens.
Okay. So I got 2 torches.
And I'll carry a backup torch, but it won't be lit.
Okay.
So am I the one with the torch?
No, Dame Quenhild also has one lit, but we'll drop it for the axe if necessary.
But I may have to drop it.
And she just has
So I think what we're doing is we're saying I have a torch,
And you're not
Quenville has a torch, but is not currently lit. It
No,
is
I think
backup
her,
one.
it is.
I
though,
think
right?
I can light mine now.
Yeah.
We'll get two, and the two injured people have their shields.
Yeah.
And you're going to be standing in front of stuff anyway as your primary function. And
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
expect
exactly.
that. then
I
Gwen will
expect
drop the torches.
that all of you use the fact that I will get in the way of every single blow imaginable to deal as much heckin' damage to the people hitting me as possible.
Yeah.
Please.
Because if
and
I
thank
need
you.
to drop this torch to get out a sword to stab someone, something's gone wrong.
Yeah. And I can, and that way I'm free to drop my torch.
Yeah.
Hope it doesn't go out, but if it does, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Plans.
Plan
We're
is
gonna
made.
get there and they'll all be dead and we'll be like, ah.
Maybe. Better safe than sorry.
You light the torches and push forward in the direction of first Sir Hervis's sentry, and then towards the path abandoned for at least a week or so that Dame Gwenhild found. Staying low, you begin to walk forward towards it. There is a point at which, by torch and blinking armor, you will be spotted unless we attempt to sneak up with like dexterity rolls from everyone, with likely a penalty for being armored. The other one is just at some point you just think you're going to be pretty close and you just walk forward. You're armored, hopefully they're sleeping and not. As you get closer
It's
and
nighttime,
closer,
they probably weren't expecting us, we'll just go.
as you get closer and closer, there's no sign of torchlight. There is no fire that has been lit. And after a time, you come to a small opened section in it, a clearing, and there is a tent erected against one of the sides. And standing a short ways away, they wouldn't have any eyeline on you from within the tent. You can see that heavy snow has fallen upon it, and one of the ropes has snapped where it held it to a nearby tree. There is a campfire here, but it is out and snow covers it. Not as much as the whole area, but enough that clearly it hasn't been lit in some time. You can see some sacks off towards one side underneath a fairly improvised looking shelter that looks, capable, but built from the natural materials. And several of the sacks have been ripped open and snow around there is disturbed. As you watch, you suddenly see the tent shake and the snow and drops down around it. And the whatever shook it from inside was big. It was as if a barrel was suddenly pushed up against the side of it and knocked it down. And as you're pausing, you hear this snuffling sound coming from within
Like a
it.
freaking bear or something, man.
Is there any blood in the snow?
Looking around you can't see blood here, not immediately at least, but you can
Any sign
further
that
in?
there is a path further on that they've taken and left?
none that you can immediately see.
Any sign of a sword is what I'm thinking of.
You guys head forward? Do you walk into head into the clearing?
Do we? Yeah, we gotta find this.
Did the
I
boar?
mean-
Did they leave? And did the boar get him? And are they dead? Is what I want to know. And when I'm not going to, or did they leave? And now the boar is here.
I want to know if we need to take this boar back and have it coronated. If it's got the sword, is that
The boar
is
can.
that we all hailing King Boar now? I don't know
The
if it's got
torches
the
are going
sword.
quickly.
But
It'll get
yeah,
tangled in
we're
the
going forward.
ropes. We probably only have a minute. We don't want to give it a charging range.
Okay.
We're going forward.
You head forward out into the clearing, and as you do, you see this tent shakes again, and then something pushes against the side of it, and a large sharp tusk pierces through the edge of the canvas and rips it away. This thing is, where the tusk comes out is about hip height, so this thing is big inside, and as it pulls upwards, it just rips it open in a huge section, and emerging is this large black wiry boar that clearly hungry with weeks of starvation and driven to the extremes of its ability, is seeking anything, is desperate, is defensive, and at any sign of people in the area, it is absolutely going to squeal and charge. And that's where we'll leave our session to pick
I
up
thought we
next
might.
week.
We don't.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, we don't see
There's no like.
two
No,
corpses.
I
in the
think
tent.
you're right. I'm gonna hit that as well in this one. So as they come out and
How much
as the fight
person meat is on there?
begins, a small brown sparrow alights on one of the branches and twitters, ignoring the battle below for what its eyes can see, and your eyes will in turn. Inside the tent are the remaining Picts. Dead, everyone taken by the cold, as so many were around them. And one of them, you can see, actually two, are cradled around the sword, close enough that it has cut them, where it's as though they sought warmth and comfort from its blade as the black winter dragged them to their graves. You found the
Fantastic.
sword. You need
God,
only
nice.
survive to retrieve it.
Salmon milk.
How far away are our squires with that spear?
A way is away. Far enough away to be
Cool.
safe. It will be
I
a
would
full
say-
charge.
I would say at least a week away.
I would as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you, as always, to our cast for playing. As we did mention at the start, but reiterated for those that may have missed it, this is actually going to be our final scenario, regularly playing on the Stream of Chaos. There will be no more Twitch streams as of September, so 2 more episodes now, 3 counting this one, that we'll be doing on the Twitch and going over to the YouTube channel. But there will be more content coming in future. We're going to be playing at PAX Oz. I know there's some interviews and some other games in the pipeline that will be there. It will just not be the sort of weekly regular games. We'll be talking a bit more about that and what else is coming up in our... We'll probably take some time after the finale in a couple of weeks to kind of just chat and let everyone know a bit of what's coming in the future. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for playing. See you next week.
Thank you, Dave.
Ciao.
Thank you, chat.